Okay, so very quick revision. Outcome 1, which is the standard form for these numbers. So 3,976, I add them together, I get 3,976. Number 2, how would you rate this number in standard form? So 21,000, I'll use this comma for that, 656. What is the expanded form of the number 4,305, right? This is my ones place, so the value is 5. My tens place, 0, the value is 0. The hundreds place, 300. And the thousands place, 4,000. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth place. So this is my tenths place. If the number next to it is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it adds 1 to the value of the tenths place, so it would be 123.5. If this over here was 3, 4, 3, 2, or 1, it would stay the same. So because it's a 9, I'm going to add 1 to the tenths place, it's going to be 123.5. Round to the nearest whole number. This right here is my whole number, or my ones place. I'm going to look at the number to the right, the 5. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it gives the whole numbers place 1. So it's going to be, sorry, one second. So, sorry, it's going to be 78. Estimate the sum. So I have 567, 962. I'm going to round them to the hundreds place, right? This is going to round to 600 because the 6 gives the 5 1. The 6 over here gives the 9 1. So this would be 1,000. 1,000 plus 600 is 1,600. So 35 times 89, there's 2 ways I could do this, but this is the way that I want you to do it in the exam. I do 9 times 5 is 45. I can't put 45 here. I have to put the 5 here and the 4 here. So now I do 9 times 3, which is 27, plus the 4 is going to be 31. Now that I've finished multiplying this over here, this 9 by the 5 and the 3, I'm going to put a 0 here, because we're starting to multiply from the tens place now. So I'm going to start from here. So 8 times 5 is 40. I put the 0 here and the 4 up top. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. I'm going to add these together. 5, 1, 11, 1 up top here, 3,115. Or I could do it like this. I could do 35 times 80, and then 35 times 9, and then add the 2 together. But we'll skip that. So 345 minus 214, I start from the ones place. 5 minus 4 is 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. Mine says 131. Number 9, 2,143 plus 8,589. 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Put 1 here. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. 2 plus 8 is 10. This one, there's 2 ways for you to do number 10. The long division. This way is the hard way. The easy way for you to get the answer, we'll start with this one first. You take the 14 and the 4 and you multiply them together, because the opposite of division is multiplication. So if I do 14 times 4, 4 times 4 is 16, put the 1 here, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 56. So this is not the same answer as this. So I know this one is wrong. I'll do 169 times 4. 4 times 9 is 36. Put the 3 here. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 3 is 27. Put the 2 here. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. So this and this, these are the same. So this means this is the correct answer. Or I could do it this way. This is the hard way. I see how many times 4 goes into 6. It goes in 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. I subtract that. 6 minus 4 is 2. I bring down the 7. 27 divided by 4. I could do 20. What can I do? 20. I could do 24 divided by 4, which is going to give me. Why isn't this moving out of the way? Sorry, 1 second. So it goes into a 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. I subtract that. 3. Bring down the 6. 9 times 4 is 36. Subtract that. I get 0. That would be my answer. But you don't have to do this on the exam. I know this will be too hard for you guys. Okay, so number 11. So negative 18 plus negative 6. So I like to use a number line to help me. So negative 18. If I'm adding a negative, right, plus a negative, or I could say negative 18 minus 6. It would be the same thing. This means I'm going to go to the left of the number line 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 18, negative 19, negative 20, negative 21, negative 22, negative 23, negative 24. So the next one I have negative 5 minus negative 3. So if I have a minus and a negative next to each other, or a negative and a negative, it changes into a positive. Because a negative and a negative is a positive, equals a positive. So negative 5 plus 3, I have my number line, negative 5 plus 3 means I'm going to go to the right 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2 is my answer. So with division and multiplication, if I have the same sign, a negative and a negative is a positive. A positive and a positive are going to be a positive. So if it's the same sign, it doesn't matter if it's division or multiplication, the answer is going to be positive. If it's a different sign, a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative, my answer is going to be negative. Or even if it was division, the same thing. So here I have a negative and a negative, a negative and a negative, so my answer is going to be positive. I know that. Let me erase this now. So negative 24 divided by negative 6 is going to give me 4, and it's going to be a positive 4. Now, if I have a bracket next to another bracket, this means multiplication. So 5 times negative 3. So if I have a positive times a negative, my answer is going to be negative. 5 times 3 is 15. My answer is negative 15. 0.9999. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. This is my second decimal place, right? I'm going to look at the number to the right. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it's going to give this 1, right? The 9, if I add 1 to it, it's going to give me 10. I cannot put 10 inside of a single place value. I would have to go to the next one. I can't do that here. So I'm going to give 1 to the ones place, or the whole number place. It's going to be 1.00. 4927, rounded to 2 significant figures. So the first 2 significant figures are 4 and 9. So everything after is going to get are going to be zeros. So the 2, it does not give the 9 because it's below 5. If it's 4, 3, 2, or 1, it does not give. So this is going to stay the same. Everything to the right of that line is going to be 0. So how many significant figures does the following number have? The zeros over here are not significant. These three numbers over here are significant. So answer is going to be 3. So a terminating decimal number, terminating means it stops, right? All of these, they go on forever and ever and ever. So this is my answer over here. So I have a third. If I were to put this in a calculator, it's going to give me 0.33333333, right? It'll be repeating. How would you express it? Anytime you have a repeating decimal number, you just put a line over it, or sometimes a dot. So it's going to look like this, so 0.3. Say, for example, if I had a decimal that looked like this, and the 1 and the 5 are repeating, I would put a line across the 1 and 5, because these are the two numbers that are repeating. So, which of the following is an irrational number? So irrational means that you cannot express the number as a fraction. So the answer would be this. This over here, 19, I can express it as a fraction like this. The square root of 0 is 0. I can express it as a fraction, 0 over 0. And anytime you have a repeating decimal, it can be expressed as a fraction. Change to a fraction. So 0.1111, this right here is the hundredths place. So it's going to be 11 over 100. What is 3/4 as a decimal? You should already have this memorized. A quarter is 0.25. This is a half, 0.75, and this is a whole. So my answer is 0.75. Or I could do it like this. I could change the denominator or the bottom number to 100. So I'm going to have to times by 25. My answer is going to be 75 over 100, or 0.75. So if I want to change a decimal to a percent, I have to move the decimal 2 times to the right. So my answer would be 52.8%. 18% as a decimal. If I want to change from a percent to a decimal, I have to do the opposite of this. So I move my decimal to the left 2 times. So my answer is going to be 0.18. If you receive a 45 out of 50 on a test, what is your percentage? So you want to change this before you change it to a percent, right? You want to change the denominator to 100. So 50 times 2 gives me 100, so I have to do the same to the top. 45 times 2 is 90. So 90 over 100, I don't know why this doesn't move. 90 over 100, 90%. %, anytime you have a percent, it means the same thing as that same number over 100. Now it says simplest form. So 30 over 100, if I want to put it into simplest form, I could just cancel out a 0 from the bottom and the top. So my answer is going to be 3 over 10. So if I want to take the percentage of an amount, there's more than one way to do this, but 5 over 100, because that's what 5% means, times 50, right? I can cancel a 0 here, cancel a 0 here. 5 times 5 is 25 divided by 10. or 25 over 10. So 25 divided by 10 means I move my decimal one place to the left. So my answer is going to be 2.5. So 1% or 1 over 100 times 347 equals 347 divided by 100. If I divide by 100, I move my decimal 2 times to the left, 3.47. Or anytime I'm taking 1% of a number, I just move my decimal 2 times to the left. Are these ratios equivalent? 2 over 3, 8 over 9. If I want to find if they're equivalent, I just cross multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 and 24 are not the same. So no. There's 3 ways to write a ratio, right? You could say 3 over 5. That's what this means. You could say 3 to 5. Or you can say 3 to 5. The symbol means the same thing as 2. So a not, which is not a way to write a ratio, is this. Because that just means 3.5 or 3.5. Simplify the ratio of 35 to 14. I could just say 35 over 14. I cannot divide these two numbers by the same number. So it's already in simplest form. So y equals kx, this is a direct proportion. Y equals k over x, or k is just any number that's a constant. This is an inverse proportion. So this one over here looks like this over here. So it's an inverse proportion. What is the constant in this inverse variation? So what you have to do is you have to multiply the x and the y by each other, right? So 1 times 48 is 48, 2 times 24 is 48, 3 times 16 is 48, so my answer is 48.